Hey everybody, welcome to Frannie's Hair. Today I'm going to be reviewing Brighton for you. She's a new heat defiant wig by Estetica, so stay tuned. Okay, so I am so excited to introduce you to this heat defiant line by Estetica. There's 4 wigs in the line. I will be reviewing Brighton fully today. I'll be showing you pictures of the other 3 wigs in the line, and then eventually I will get to reviewing those as well. Marlene is reviewing James for me, and that should have gone up this morning, so you can also look for that video, and I'll link that in my description below so you can see that wig as well. When I interviewed Grace, the designer at Estetica, you sent me questions to ask her, and the questions that I got over and over again were, number 1, is there going to be a heat defiant or heat friendly line from Estetica? And number 2, will they ever make Velcro adjusters? Well, they heard you, and they answered both of those. This heat defiant line also has Velcro adjusters, and I'll be showing you that when I show you the cap. So this wig is Brighton, and she's in the color Caramel Kiss with a rooting of 4, so that means you have a dark brown rooting here, and Caramel Kiss is a brunette with nice copper highlights. Now, the first thing I noticed is that this Caramel Kiss with a rooting of 4 seems warmer to me than the regular synthetic in the same color. And if you know anything about heat defiant wigs, there are pros and cons to them. So the pros are definitely they're a more natural looking fiber. They're not as shiny. The denier feels more natural as well, not as thick as a regular synthetic wig. You can style them with heat, so you can straighten or curl. With heat, you just have to follow the manufacturer's instructions and not go above the amount of heat that they set for the wig. And then when you wash your wig, it'll come back to the last style you created with heat. So in that sense, it's really great because you can make it your own, and then every time you wash it, it'll come back to that style. Now, some of the cons are that they are more expensive, and they do require that you use heat periodically to keep them looking nice. So some people like heat friendly, some people don't. It really depends on what you're looking for in a wig. I personally like the more natural look of a heat friendly wig, and I don't mind using heat to keep it up. Okay, so as I said, this is Caramel Kiss with a rooting of 4. And the other thing I noticed about this color in this wig is in the regular synthetic with the Caramel Kiss with a rooting of 4, it seemed a little bit more chunky or stripy, the highlights, whereas this seems more natural to me and more blended, I would say. So I'm going to spin for you, show you the style, and then we'll talk measurements. All right. I love this. I wore it out to dinner last night. She's a bob with loose layers and waves, and she would have been perfect for my last wig winners video that I did, which was on wavy bobs, and I think she would have done really well. As a matter of fact, if you saw that video, let me know where you think she would have placed. And if you didn't see that video, I'll put a link here. All right, before we get to the measurements, let me tell you my measurements. My circumference is 21.5 inches. My forehead to chin is 8.5 inches, and the rest of my measurements will be in the description below. If you don't know how to measure your head correctly, you can go over to my website, and I'll put a link in the description below, and I have a video on how to measure your head. That way, when you're looking at the measurements of a wig, and also my measurements, you can compare and see how the wig's going to look on you. All right, so the measurements for this wig, her bang is 6 inches, her crown 5.5 inches, the sides are 7 inches, the nape 9.5 inches, and she weighs 3.5 ounces. As far as density goes, I would say she's medium density, and I do feel some permatease in here. It's not a crazy amount, but it lends to that shape and to hiding the wefting. She has a lace front. Hopefully you can see that there. And typically when you have darker knots, you'll see them. What I don't like when they do a lace front with a dark color is when it's all dark and it just looks like a straight line. Here you can see they took the highlights up to the hairline, which I like. I think that looks better. And if you do have some dark knots that you don't want to show, you can use a powder. She has a monofilament part, and when the part came, it was a really straight part, so I kind of messed it up a little bit. I like it to look a little bit more natural. The other thing, right out of the box, and I haven't used any heat on her yet at all, the only thing I did was kind of comb her out and shake her up. But the thing I noticed was that she has this swoop here, and I know a lot of people like that swoop. I personally like it to come down a little bit, so I'll probably style that with a little bit of heat and give myself a little bit of a curtain bang there. I like that look. But if you like that swoop, you can easily have that with this. You can see that there. You can really get that there. And you can fluff her up. Really volumize her if you want to. I brush through the curls so they're not as separated, but if you want them more separated, you can use the sea salt spray, spritz it, scrunch it, and it'll separate those curls again. This is such an adorable style. I really love it. Okay, before I try on the glasses, let's take a look at the ear tabs here and the coverage. So you can see the ear tab comes to here. Oh, I forgot to tell you how it's fitting me. She's fitting me perfectly, so we'll take a look at where the adjusters are. I don't think I adjusted them at all last night, but we'll take a look at where the adjusters are. She's fitting me very well. All right, so here's the ear tab, and you can see this is my hair here, the hair with the gray. All right. So you can see that coverage. I think it's good coverage because I do have that hair that grows forward. All right, so let's try the glasses on. Underneath the ear tabs, no issue. I think it's actually fitting underneath. So not under this way, but underneath the bottom of the ear tab, so I don't feel it at all. And then over the ear tabs, I don't feel it at all either. All right, let's take a look at the color outside. Okay, it's kind of an overcast day, so I think you're getting a good look at the color here. And you can see it's less shiny than the Caramel Kiss in the regular synthetic. And I think the blending is really nice. And it's very warm looking. And yes, I know, I need a selfie stick. Okay. Let's go into the house and look at the lighting here as I walk through. If you hear that walking around, that's Einstein. Every time I get up, he gets up to see if I'm going to give him a treat. All right, so let's take a look at the cap. All right, so here you go. Here's your lace front. Looks temple to temple. And your mono part, which goes all the way back to the crown there, which is nice. That makes your crown more natural looking, so it's not so dense right in that area. And as I said, you can part anywhere within here. So you do have some room to change that part. This is probably where the permatease is. I do think I feel some there. There's open wefting. You have your ear tabs with the fabric. It's not felt or velvet, it's just a fabric. I don't know if you can see that there. They always have these great metal stays. I really like Estetica's metal stays. They're longer and more sturdy. The nape, the extended nape, is a felty or velvety material, so it's nice and comfortable. And then look at these Velcro adjusters, and they are adjusted in somewhat. So there you go. And like I said, it's fitting me perfectly, and I have a 21.5-inch circumference, so it could definitely go larger, definitely to an average, maybe even a little bit bigger. There is stretch in here. You won't have stretch right here because these pieces are not stretchy, but still you have a decent amount of stretch. And It can also go smaller than my 21.5-inch circumference. Okay, so let's try styling her a little bit. Okay, so that was Brighton. Now I'm going to show you pictures of the other 3 wigs that are also available in the Heat Defiant line. And they are James, and as I said, Marlene reviewed her, so I will link that in the description below. She's a monotop lace front, sleek long style with subtle layers. Then there's Seven, and she is a long layered style with soft, lush curls. And then there's Veil, and she's a short cut with choppy, textured layers. All of these wigs are available at frannieshair.com for 30% off right now, so make sure you go over and check them out. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you have any questions at all, put them in the comments below. You can come to my private Facebook group, Frannie's Hair, and there are exclusive deals over there. There's one going on right now that you can't get anywhere else, so come join us there. Also, we have wig experts there who can help you with any of your questions, and it's just great to see all of the people showing the different wigs on different faces, regular women, so you get to see what these wigs really look like, not the stock photos where they're highly stylized. Also, everybody is sharing tips and tricks with each other. It's just a really great supportive community, so come over and join us there. And then finally, you can also get a hold of me on the website. There's a contact form where you can ask any questions that you like, and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Okay, as always, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. Remember to make it your own, and I'll see you soon.